Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Working on Game video. Today's video is dedicated to the new Miracle Trials going on, and pretty much a look into the UR gear. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Once we get 7,500 subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. First, let's go ahead and look at this Sakura God necklace. We're going to activate it. Note that there is a 200,000 gold price tag, and I have this thing, the soul inscription of Blazing Sun. We'll talk about how to get it, but let's go ahead and do this thing. We're gonna add this tie because I feel like, this isn't something that I really need. If you're wondering what it does, if you hold and click, it adds some defense, does some defense reduction and speed reduction, and it makes you immune to attack reduction. But honestly, defense is not that important. In my opinion, it is important, but not to the point where it's going to make a huge difference. So let's go ahead and do this. Activate the Sakura God necklace. All right, when the wearer appears, he/she and the leader or allies behind gain a shield with 30% of the wearer's max HP for 2 rounds. Wow. Goes for all classes. That's actually pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and put this on Vivian. Because Vivian is, I guess, my bulkiest character, you can say. She has all of this like defense and like HP gear, so we'll go ahead and put it on her. She is the first one to go out, so we'll see how this goes. I kind of want to experiment with it, so we're gonna go enhance plus 10, enhance plus 10. You can see here like my gold is just disappearing away. And now I see why you need that soul inscription of Blazing Sun. You can get one more of these pretty much in the Flowing Sakura 2 in the trial mode, and it's the last reward pretty much for Flowing Sakura 2. So this is pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure it's going to give like a massive shield. Anyways, this is going to be pretty much the gameplay of me tackling Flowing Sakura 1, and then I'll play the footage for Floating Sakura 2. And pretty much the characters I'm going to be using, it's just Rei, Yumi or Rie, Yumi, Kasume, and Chio. Those are like my 4 big ones, and then everyone else is sort of fodder. Now, I will say you don't have to completely max out like the Sakura God necklace, whatever you want to call it. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change that much. Just looking over the Sakura God necklace, it's probably going to be great for PvE situations and somewhat decent in PvP situations. But the fact that it adds defense and HP, it's not going to be like game breaking, you know what I mean? But it is really, really good, and it is pretty cool that we get UR gear to sneak peek into everything. And moving forward, I think this is the way UR gear is going to be implemented, where essentially we get a, SR or S piece where it's like, hey, this thing can go UR, you have to slam 3 different SSRs into it, and then you trifecta it and you get like the little, I guess, item that activates it, and then it activates, right? But as far as like Sakura Flowing goes, it's most of my tactics is based off of my leader. Just note that my leader is like level 60. He is, fully buffed as in Halo wise. He's all like level 60'd out because I am, leader level 60. And I have a bunch of crystals. You can see like, within me playing and showing everything, I always have like a bunch of crystals flowing around. But my biggest point is that when you are going against the Sakura Flowing, it's just important to have, 1 DPS for the first 2 stages. I'm not sure what it's going to be like tackling Eternal, because Eternal, usually those are much harder. You can't cheese it as hard. By cheese it, I mean just running a overpowered leader, because my leader is essentially just a busted like Kasume or something for these stages, because his team damage is through the roof and everything. And no, I don't use like the Paladin or, the Nightmare Hunter leader. I just use the plain old like red leader who's just good at attacking, because he does deal decent damage for my case, and I thought he did pretty well. As far as things goes, it is a little bit difficult. I don't think a lot of new players can tackle Miracle, but I think Miracle is, it's trying to be the end game content for Illusion Connect. What I mean by this is Miracle forces you to build units that you wouldn't normally use. And in some ways, people find that annoying, and I completely understand. But the thing is, it also makes the game more diverse. It adds a new challenge, a new level to it. Because if you just keep using, Yuki and Yuffie, these overpowered characters on every single stage, and you just clear everything out, and there's like no difference in like the way you sort of like, the only difference is you place the units at a different time, right? Miracle mode, it makes you think, it makes you do other things, and it gives you fantastic rewards, and I think it's a welcome addition. I watched FG's video earlier today, and he was talking about like maybe they can add like different tile abilities, like maybe one tile can increase damage, maybe if they block out a tile completely in Flowing Sakura. Whatever it is, I think it can be a fantastic addition to Illusion Connect, because it makes a game, instead of like a 3x3 grid just placing the best units, it makes it more interactive, it makes it, different. Because right now, I think a lot of people find Illusion Connect's gameplay to be a little bit dry after beating everything, and Miracle Mode is the one thing that makes it different, right? And I think that's just such a good thing, because there isn't I want something different outside of like Arcana, because Arcana to me is just a chore lately. Even though you get a bunch of shards in Arcana, it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, like sometimes I don't even want to look at this thing. But for the most part, it gets easier, the gameplay. But Miracle is one of the things where it's like, stop. You gotta think, you gotta try other things. And that's the most important part in any game, is kind of like breaking that cycle and making you think a little bit harder. Some people might disagree, I totally understand. Some people would be like, hey, that's not the way to do it. But you know what? That's the way the developers are doing it. I'm pretty sure we'll have other gameplay modes outside of Miracle, like the boss raid that they talked about. They're adding new leaders that they talked about, in the live event. So we'll see it coming down the pipe. Also, while we were watching this, pretty much the gameplay, it's not really guide, right? These are just tips, like I said. As far as things flows in like Sakura flowing in these like trial stages, I will say the most important part is keeping your units alive for my case. By that I mean keep your leader pretty much dealing all the damage in the beginning, wipe out the board, and then let your units come in. Of course, this strategy might not work out for everyone. It depends like on, what you want to do. But for the most part, that's what worked out for me. And this is not like beginner friendly whatsoever. I said it earlier, but Miracle Mode is geared towards endgame content. I think the first, Miracle that we had was a little bit more approachable, and then the last set of Eternal was a lot harder. I think that what they're trying to do is like save it so that essentially you always have something to do. That's what Miracle Mode, was created for. And I sort of see it because right now everyone's capped out. Imagine if they raise the player level, they raise pretty much the SSR gear level and everything, then we would essentially blow out Eternal because our characters would be stronger, they'd be able to one-shot certain things, it'd be much easier, right? But that's what I'm trying to say. So they made it in a way so that with our current gameplay mode, it is doable. And now that doesn't mean like they need to make really broken events like the tourney event. That was completely broken and poorly implemented. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like within the game, they want to make it so that people still have a challenge and still have something to do. Because I think most of us just log in, do daily PvP, do trials and whatever, because that's pretty much what I've been doing for the most part. Alright, you can see here I pretty much completed out the rest of the stages. So let's go ahead and go into trials and then go ahead and do Dream Expedition. And don't forget, every single week, make sure to hit confirm, get all of those sweet summoning tickets, because we are going to have a good blue summon week this week because they talked about it on the maintenance, alright? So that's it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Once it hits 7,500 subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.